When most men think about improving their erections, their minds go straight to supplements, prescriptions, or something they have seen advertised online. Magnesium supplements, for example, are often promoted as a quick fix for everything from energy to sleep to performance in the bedroom. And while magnesium certainly plays an important role in overall health, the truth is this: magnesium is not the miracle solution many believe it to be. Here is a more surprising fact. According to research published in the Journal of Sexual Medicine, nearly 1 in 2 men over the age of 40 will experience some form of erectile dysfunction in their lifetime. That means if you are in your 40s, 50s, or 60s, and you notice that things are not working the way they used to, you are not alone. It is one of the most common and most treatable conditions in men's health. The challenge is that men are rarely given clear, science-backed guidance on what actually helps and what does not. Social media can be filled with quick hacks and half-truths. Friends may share tips that worked for them, but not for you. Even the supplement aisle can be overwhelming, with bottles promising results that are rarely supported by research. All of this leaves many men feeling confused, embarrassed, or even hopeless. But here is the encouraging news. The science is much clearer than the marketing, and when you look closely at how the body restores blood flow, balances hormones, and protects the delicate nerves of the penis, the answer is not another random pill. In fact, 2 very specific vitamins taken in the evening have been shown to support the body's natural repair processes overnight. These are nutrients that most men overlook, yet they work quietly with your physiology to improve circulation, reduce oxidative stress, and support testosterone function in ways that magnesium alone simply cannot. In this consultation, I am going to walk you through exactly why these vitamins matter, what the research shows, and how you can start using them to support your sexual health naturally. We will separate myth from fact, look at what leading institutions like the National Institutes of Health and Harvard Medical School have to say, and then translate that knowledge into practical steps you can begin tonight. Think of this as if you are sitting in my clinic. My job is to take the complex science and make it clear, calm, and actionable for you. By the end of our time together, you will not only understand why magnesium supplements are not the whole story, but also how these 2 overlooked vitamins can revive the very foundation of your performance, your blood vessels, your hormones, and your confidence. You deserve clarity, not fear. You deserve to know what truly works. So let us break this down together. Magnesium is one of those nutrients that seems to appear everywhere in health discussions. It is essential for more than 300 biochemical reactions in the body. Your muscles need it to contract and relax. Your nervous system needs it to send signals. Your heart relies on it to keep a steady rhythm. So when men hear that magnesium deficiency is common, it makes sense to assume that adding a supplement could be the missing piece for better performance in the bedroom. But here is where we need to separate assumption from fact. Magnesium does play a role in energy metabolism and relaxation, both of which are important for sexual health. However, the research does not support the idea that taking more magnesium by itself leads to stronger erections. A study published in the International Journal of Impotence Research found that while magnesium deficiency can worsen endothelial function, that is, the health of the lining of your blood vessels, supplementing magnesium alone did not significantly improve erectile function in men without deficiency. In other words, it is important, but it is not the miracle solution. Think of it like a car. Magnesium is part of the spark plugs that keep the engine firing. Without it, the car will stall. But if your fuel pump is broken or the pipes are clogged, adding more spark plugs will not fix the problem. Erections depend most critically on blood flow through the penile arteries and proper signaling from the nervous system. That is why conditions like diabetes, high blood pressure, and stress have such a strong impact, because they damage or interfere with these pathways. This is why many men who take magnesium supplements report feeling calmer or sleeping better, but they do not see a dramatic change in their erections. The underlying issue is often not magnesium deficiency at all, but poor circulation, hormonal imbalance, or oxidative stress damaging the tissues of the penis. These are areas where other nutrients, particularly vitamin D and vitamin B12, have far stronger evidence of impact. It is also worth noting that taking too much magnesium can cause side effects such as diarrhea, cramping, or even dangerous interactions if you are on certain medications like blood pressure drugs. This is one of the reasons why self-prescribing supplements without medical guidance can create more harm than good. So here's the first takeaway. Magnesium is necessary for your body, but it is not the magic bullet for sexual health. If you are deficient, correcting that will help your general well-being. But if your goal is to restore erections, what really matters is improving vascular health, reducing nerve damage, and balancing hormones. And that is where the two vitamins we are focusing on tonight come into the picture. If this is helping clarify things, give this video a thumbs up. It helps more men find accurate, shame-free information like this. Vitamin D is often called the sunshine vitamin, but it is more accurate to think of it as a hormone. Unlike most vitamins, vitamin D is synthesized in the skin when it is exposed to sunlight, and then it acts in the body in ways that are much closer to hormones like testosterone and estrogen. This is why deficiencies in vitamin D do not just affect bone strength, they ripple through your endocrine system, your immune system, and even your blood vessels. Let us connect this to sexual health. Erections depend on healthy endothelial cells, the inner lining of your blood vessels. These cells release nitric oxide, a gas that relaxes blood vessel walls and allows more blood to flow into the penis. Without this release, erections are weak or short-lived. Research from Harvard Medical School and the Journal of Sexual Medicine shows that vitamin D deficiency is strongly linked to impaired endothelial function and higher rates of erectile dysfunction. In fact, men with low vitamin D levels were found to be nearly 30% more likely to report problems with erections compared to men with normal levels. Now, here is why nighttime matters. Your body does much of its repair work during sleep. Testosterone production peaks at night, nitric oxide pathways reset, and oxidative damage is repaired. Vitamin D plays a quiet but powerful role in this process by regulating calcium flow in cells, reducing inflammation, and supporting the enzymes that make testosterone. Without adequate vitamin D, your body cannot perform these nighttime repairs as efficiently. It is like trying to patch a leaking roof in the dark without enough tools. Progress is slow and incomplete. Here is a metaphor I often use with patients. Think of your blood vessels as garden hoses. Over time, if those hoses are exposed to too much sun, pressure, or debris, they stiffen and crack. Vitamin D is like the moisture that keeps those hoses flexible, preventing cracks before they occur. When vitamin D is low, the hoses become brittle, and blood cannot flow smoothly where it needs to, including to the penis. Now, how much do you actually need? The National Institutes of Health recommends around 600 to 800 international units per day for adults, but many men, especially those living in northern climates or spending most of their day indoors, are significantly deficient. Blood testing is the best way to know your true levels, but in clinical practice, it is common to see patients improve both energy and erectile function once deficiency is corrected. So here is the practical takeaway. If you are dealing with erectile dysfunction, it is worth asking your doctor about checking your vitamin D levels. And if you are supplementing, take it in the evening with a meal that includes healthy fat, such as olive oil or avocado, because vitamin D is fat soluble and absorbs better this way. By aligning it with your body's natural nighttime repair cycle, you give your system the tools it needs to restore blood flow and hormone balance while you sleep. Comment below if this resonates. Let us open this conversation because too many men struggle in silence when the solutions are often straightforward and evidence-based. If vitamin D is the hormone-like regulator of blood vessels, then vitamin B12 is the electrician of your nervous system. Without it, the signals from your brain to your penis cannot travel efficiently. That matters because an erection is not just about blood, it is about timing. The brain senses arousal, nerves release chemical messengers, and blood flow follows almost instantly. If those nerves are damaged or slowed, the system does not synchronize, and the result is weaker, inconsistent, or absent erections. Vitamin B12, along with other B vitamins, is also critical for making red blood cells. These cells carry oxygen throughout your body, including to the small vessels of the penis. When oxygen supply is low, tissues become stressed and less responsive. This is why men with anemia or chronic B12 deficiency often report fatigue, brain fog, and sexual dysfunction. The research supports this link. A study in the International Journal of Urology found that men with erectile dysfunction often had significantly lower vitamin B12 levels compared to men without erectile issues. Another paper from the National Institutes of Health highlighted how vitamin B12 supports myelin, the protective sheath around nerves. When myelin breaks down, something that happens with age, diabetes, or chronic deficiency, nerve signals slow and erectile function suffers. Here is an analogy I often use. Imagine you are trying to stream a movie, but your internet cable is frayed. The picture freezes, the sound cuts out, and the experience is frustrating. Your nerves work the same way. Vitamin B12 keeps the cables coated smooth and efficient, so the signals for arousal and erection travel quickly and clearly. Now here's why nighttime is important. The body's nervous system goes through a kind of recalibration during deep sleep. Memories consolidate, hormone signals reset, and nerve repair processes activate. Taking vitamin B12 in the evening along with a balanced meal ensures that your nervous system has the raw materials it needs during this repair cycle. Unlike magnesium, which mainly supports relaxation, vitamin B12 directly fuels the pathways that make erections neurologically possible. But here is something important to remember. Vitamin B12 absorption depends on a protein called intrinsic factor produced in the stomach. As men age, stomach acid levels decline, and so does intrinsic factor. That means even if you are eating foods rich in B12 like red meat, eggs, or dairy, you may not be absorbing enough. This is why deficiencies are surprisingly common in men over 50. Blood testing can reveal whether your levels are optimal, and supplementation can be tailored accordingly. The takeaway here is simple but powerful. Do not overlook your nerves. Erections are as much about communication as they are about circulation, and vitamin B12 is the quiet force that keeps that communication sharp. If you are over 50, struggling with energy or performance, and have never had your B12 checked, it is worth bringing up with your doctor. Sometimes the solution is not another pill for performance, but restoring the very foundation of how your body communicates arousal into action. If this discussion is giving you new clarity, give this video a like so more men can find accurate, science-driven information instead of empty promises. Most men think of nighttime simply as rest, but from a biological perspective, sleep is the most active repair workshop your body has. Every night, systems that have been stressed during the day go into recovery mode. Hormones rebalance, blood vessels relax, nerves undergo repair. And for sexual health, this period is crucial. During deep sleep, your brain signals the testes to increase testosterone production. This is not just about libido. Testosterone also influences nitric oxide production and helps maintain muscle and bone integrity. At the same time, growth hormone is released, supporting tissue repair throughout the body. Your cardiovascular system also benefits. Blood pressure naturally dips during sleep, reducing strain on arteries and giving blood vessel walls a chance to recover. Now, here is where vitamins come into play. Vitamin D and vitamin B12 are not stimulants that force the body into action during the day. Instead, they are cofactors, tools that your body uses most effectively during this nighttime repair cycle. Vitamin D reduces the inflammatory signals that damage blood vessels and supports testosterone synthesis. Vitamin B12 ensures that nerves and red blood cells are replenished while you sleep, so communication and oxygen delivery are stronger when you wake up. Think of your body like a construction crew repairing a road overnight. If the workers have enough materials, they can patch holes, repaint lines, and clear debris before traffic resumes in the morning. Without the right supplies, progress stalls and the road becomes more damaged over time. Sleep is the construction crew, and these vitamins are the supplies they rely on. This is also why poor sleep is such a powerful predictor of erectile dysfunction. Studies from the Mayo Clinic and the National Sleep Foundation show that men who consistently get less than 6 hours of sleep are significantly more likely to experience problems with erections. Not because they are tired, but because their repair cycles are cut short. Hormones remain unbalanced, blood vessels remain inflamed, and nerves do not fully recover. Here's something I remind my patients: morning erections are not just a sign of desire. They are a diagnostic sign that your overnight repair processes are working. If you notice that morning erections have become less frequent, it is often one of the earliest indicators that your sleep quality or your nutrient status is out of balance. So what can you do? Begin by aligning your vitamin intake with your evening meal. Avoid heavy alcohol or high sugar snacks before bed, as they disrupt hormone cycles and blood sugar regulation. Create a consistent sleep routine. Even 30 extra minutes of quality rest can improve testosterone and nitric oxide production. And ensure that vitamin D and B12 are part of your evening nutrition, so your body has what it needs when the repair crew goes to work. By respecting the role of nighttime repair, you shift from simply reacting to problems in the bedroom to proactively restoring the systems that make healthy erections possible. When we move from theory into research, the story becomes even clearer. Over the past decade, a growing body of studies has shown direct links between vitamin deficiencies and erectile dysfunction. These studies are important because they move beyond speculation and into measurable outcomes. Let us begin with vitamin D. A 2015 study published in the Journal of Sexual Medicine followed more than 3,000 men and found that those with vitamin D deficiency were significantly more likely to suffer from erectile dysfunction independent of other risk factors such as age, smoking, or diabetes. The researchers concluded that vitamin D plays a central role in endothelial health. In other words, keeping the inner lining of blood vessels smooth and responsive. Without this, the nitric oxide release that drives erections cannot happen effectively. Vitamin B12 has also been studied. In a paper from the National Institutes of Health, researchers highlighted that low B12 levels contribute to elevated homocysteine, an amino acid that, when high, damages blood vessels and nerves. Elevated homocysteine is now recognized as an independent risk factor for erectile dysfunction and cardiovascular disease. Supplementing with B vitamins, especially B12 and folate, has been shown to lower homocysteine levels and improve endothelial function, which directly supports better erectile quality. Another study published in Urology in 2017 examined men with erectile dysfunction and found that correcting deficiencies in both vitamin D and B12 not only improved their sexual performance but also enhanced energy and mood. This is important because erectile dysfunction is never purely physical or psychological, it is always an interplay. When nutrients restore circulation and nerve health, men feel more confident, and that confidence itself feeds back into stronger performance. Here is a useful way to think about it. Imagine trying to inflate a balloon with holes in it. You can blow as hard as you want, but the air keeps escaping. Erectile dysfunction is similar. Medications or supplements that only increase blood pressure in the penis may help temporarily, but if the underlying tissue is weak, inflamed, or poorly supplied with oxygen, the effect fades. Vitamins D and B12 patch those holes by addressing the structural health of the system, not just forcing a temporary result. Clinical guidelines also support this approach. The European Association of Urology and the American Neurological Association both recognize that optimizing cardiovascular health, hormone balance, and nutrient status are fundamental first steps in managing erectile dysfunction. Prescription medications like phosphodiesterase inhibitors, sildenafil, or tadalafil are effective, but they are most effective when the underlying biology is strong. Think of the vitamins as tuning the instrument so the medication, if needed, can play the right notes. So here is the evidence-based truth. Erectile dysfunction is not just about aging or bad luck. It is often about correctable imbalances, deficiencies that can be identified, measured, and restored. By paying attention to vitamin D and vitamin B12, you are not chasing a fad. You are aligning with what clinical science has repeatedly shown, that erections are a mirror of vascular and nerve health, and both can be improved with the right support. We have covered the science, the deficiencies, and the research, but knowledge without action does not change your health. So let us translate everything into practical steps you can begin tonight. First, timing matters. Both vitamin D and vitamin B12 should be taken with food, preferably in the evening. Vitamin D is fat soluble, which means it needs dietary fat for proper absorption. Pairing it with a meal that includes olive oil, nuts, or avocado ensures your body can use it effectively. Vitamin B12, while water soluble, also absorbs better when taken with food because your stomach is already in the process of releasing the proteins and acids that assist absorption. Second, create a consistent sleep environment. Remember, these vitamins do their best work during deep sleep when your body is in repair mode. Keep your bedroom dark, cool, and free of unnecessary electronics. Even a 30-minute improvement in sleep duration or quality can make a noticeable difference in testosterone balance and morning erections. Third, pay attention to lifestyle partners. Alcohol, nicotine, and late-night heavy meals all interfere with the very repair cycle we are trying to support. For example, alcohol disrupts REM sleep, nicotine constricts blood vessels, and high-fat late-night meals can spike inflammation. By reducing these, you remove barriers that block the benefits of vitamins. Fourth, consider your food sources. Supplements are helpful, but nutrients from whole foods provide additional cofactors your body needs. For vitamin D, fatty fish such as salmon, fortified dairy, or egg yolks are excellent. For vitamin B12, lean meats, poultry, and fish are the richest sources. If you follow a vegetarian or vegan diet, supplementation is even more important, as B12 is difficult to obtain otherwise. Fifth, track your signals. One of the simplest ways to monitor whether your nighttime repair is improving is to pay attention to morning erections. These are not just a sign of sexual readiness, they are an indicator of vascular and neurological health. If you notice them returning or becoming stronger, it is a sign your system is recovering. Finally, talk with your doctor before starting any supplement regimen, especially if you are over 50 or taking medications. It is worth checking your blood levels of vitamin D and B12. Not only does this ensure you are not guessing, but it allows you to adjust your intake to what your body truly needs. Many men find that just correcting a deficiency is enough to restore vitality without additional interventions. Think of these habits as building a foundation. Vitamins D and B12 are the bricks, sleep is the mortar, and lifestyle choices are the scaffolding that holds everything in place. When combined, they create a structure strong enough to support not just sexual health, but overall vitality. So tonight, as you prepare for bed, remember this: you are not just winding down your day, you are setting the stage for your body's repair crew. Give them the right tools, and they will restore the systems that make you feel alive, confident, and capable. We began this consultation with a common belief that magnesium supplements are the key to better erections. We have seen tonight that while magnesium is important for many functions in the body, it is not the miracle answer that many men hope it will be. The real story lies in two vitamins that most men overlook: vitamin D and vitamin B12. The science is clear. Vitamin D is not just a vitamin, it behaves like a hormone, protecting your blood vessels, supporting testosterone, and guiding the repair work your body does overnight. Vitamin B12 is the quiet force that keeps your nerves sharp and your blood rich with oxygen, allowing brain signals and circulation to work in perfect harmony. Together, they give your system the tools it needs to repair, restore, and revive function while you sleep. We have also seen how nighttime is not just rest, but a vital repair cycle. When you align your nutrition, your sleep, and your lifestyle choices with this cycle, you allow your body to do what it is designed to do: heal itself. Clinical studies from respected institutions like Harvard, the National Institutes of Health, and the Journal of Sexual Medicine confirm what patients often notice: correcting deficiencies restores performance, energy, and confidence. Here is the empowering truth I want you to leave with. Erectile dysfunction is not simply an inevitable part of aging. It is a signal that your body needs support, whether in circulation, hormones, or nerve health. And the good news is these signals can be answered by paying attention to nutrients like vitamin D and B12, by respecting your sleep, and by making small but consistent lifestyle choices. You can change the trajectory of your health. So here is one action you can start today. With your next evening meal, add these 2 vitamins, whether through food sources or a supplement that your doctor recommends. Then protect your sleep as if it were medicine.